It looks like you're in the wind.
Oh,
Your hair is like blowing up.
I have a fan on because it's kind of hot here today, actually. Hi, everybody. Hi, Facebook family. Thank you for coming on. Please go ahead. If you're watching this on the replay, type replay below. And if you're watching us live, let us know that you are hanging out with us. I am super excited, so excited to be hanging out with my friend Megan. Um, Gosh. So what I want to do, I kind of want to share the way we got here. So I have been wanting for a long time to kind of highlight some of these amazing people that I have met over the years and just have them share some words of wisdom, have you see why they inspire me and why I'm so, I hope you're still there, Megan. Just yeah, to see why they inspire me, and hopefully you'll have a great takeaway after watching. So, my name is Beth Campbell. I am from Iowa. I live in beautiful Colorado, and I am a CBD advocate and a life coach, and a mom of two teenagers. Megan, will you go ahead and introduce yourself and maybe talk about all the different hats that you wear?
Sure. So I'm Megan Christofferson, and I live in Iowa. That's how I originally met Beth. And I am the mom of 8 kiddos. Two are teenagers. And I also work for a biotech company. I'm a senior clinical specialist for them. I am the founder of Gigi's Playhouse in the Des Moines location, which is a Down syndrome achievement center. And right now I currently serve on the board of trustees for ChildServe, which is an organization that provides services for children with special needs. And I also am on the board for Birchwood Montessori, which is a school I helped found this summer to start to bring Montessori, more Montessori options to Des Moines, which has been a great solution for one of my sons, Griffin. I've adopted, my husband and I have adopted 5 children from China. We have 2 children who have Down syndrome. One is our biological son, Karsten, who's 12, and Bo is 10, and we adopted him from China. So that's, and we have half and half girls, half boys, perfectly balanced.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So right there, that tells you why I admire and respect this woman so much, because you have all these things on your plate and all these things. What I love is they're all things you're so passionate about, but you are one of the most joyful, authentic, energetic people that I know. So that's why I thought, you know what, I have to interview Megan because we need to know her secrets. We need to know what it is that makes you tick and helps you not just survive, but you thrive, you know? And so if any of you are watching this and you're thinking, wow, please share this out because someone might very well benefit from hearing these things that Megan has to share. So, holy mackerel. So the first thing that comes to mind is like time and energy management. How, you know, you've grown. I've known you, gosh, for a lot of years. And I remember, I think, actually being at your house as you were kind of getting ready for one of your first adoption, I think. I think it was your first one.
I think you're right. So I think when you and I first met, I might have just had Gabe and Karsten.
I think so.
We had Griffin. And then shortly after Griffin is when we adopted Ellen May. And I do remember you being at our house when we were in that transition mode of trying to prepare and do our education and learning that we could do to prepare ourselves. So yeah, I remember that.
I get goosebumps because I just remember seeing her picture and I remember how excited you were. To grow your family. So yeah, time and energy management. When you went from a family of what, 5 to a family of 10.
So
what does that look like?
Yep. So it's interesting because never never would, when I was growing up or any of those things, and people, or when Matt and I first met, and you have those conversations of how many kids do you want and what do you want out of life and what do we match up? I never said I want to have 8 children because normal people don't say that. But it just kind of happened organically, and now I can't even imagine life without having all 8 of them in it. They're all so amazing and beautiful and wonderful and bring all these awesome characteristics and different strengths, and it's just, they're just amazing little people. I will say, I mean, when life was normal, I thought I was going to, climb the corporate ladder. It was all about climbing the corporate ladder, and we were going to have this perfect family with, 3, maybe 4 children. And we knew where life was going. We knew our purpose, right? And then our second son, Karsten, was born. We did not know that he had Down syndrome before he was born. I was 28, so it was really not on my radar. And so when the doctors came into the room and told us, hey, has anybody discussed the issues we are seeing with your son? And I'm holding Karsten in this moment in the hospital room. And I look down at Karsten and I shake my head no. And the physician starts to cry. And I thought, oh boy, this must be really bad. So we were at a teaching university in Missouri. So I went down the line to the next attending and I said, what? She said, well, we think your son has Down syndrome. And then she followed it by saying all of the scary medical things that could happen, that could come along with Down syndrome. And she used the term mental retardation, which I don't suggest using. Intellectual disabilities or delays would be more appropriate, but those are the words she used. So, and it was like Charlie Brown's teacher was talking to me, right? Like, rah, 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 rah. And I looked at her and I said, well, how do we fix this? Because I was in mom mode and, everything is fixable. And she just shook her head no at me and she started to cry. And I remember in that moment, I was holding Karsten. So I looked down at him and he has these beautiful almond shaped eyes. And right in that moment, he opened his eyes and he looked up at me. And for the first time, I heard his voice. And his heart spoke to my heart and said, Mama, they're not here to fix me. I'm here to fix you. And I knew that life had just taken a left-hand turn. I had no idea what road we were now on. I had no clue where to start. But I knew in that moment, okay, here we go. This is what we're going to do. 12 years later, he's still trying to fix me. It's a big task. Doesn't happen. So, I've often said that if I spent every minute of every day trying to repay Karsten for all the lessons that he's given to me, for grounding me and making me see what's really important in life, I would never live a long enough life. I would never be able to do enough to thank him, to pay him back. So it really was Karsten who kind of changed our perspectives on everything, and we started trudging down this road. And then we quickly refocused, Matt and I, and life became about what do we do to live our best lives, give everybody in the family the best opportunities we have. So that's when we moved back to Iowa. We took job transfers with our companies. And I've quickly learned that if there's not something available that you need, if you hit a roadblock that seems like you cannot get around it, you can spend a lot of time complaining about the roadblock and it will zap you of all of your energy, and the roadblock will still be there at the end of the day. Or you can build a new road around the roadblock and build what you need and try to make other people's lives richer, better, easier, happier, more connected, while, sorry, excuse me, building that new road around the roadblock. So I think it's easier to be a builder. I think it zaps less of your energy. It's more rewarding. So that's just kind of been my mantra. If there's a need that I see that our community could use, and it won't just help me, but it'll help others, then all right, that's what we need to do. And trying to find other people to march down that road with me has been kind of the key to success, I guess.
Oh my gosh. It's one of the many things I love about you. You absolutely choose not to be the victim. You're the victor. Like, you make things happen. And that's the thing. I think a lot of people it's really easy for us to find reasons not to do it, and to sit with being disappointed and aggravated and frustrated, right?
Right.
But you're so right. Like, if you can, step into your power and make things happen. And if a mom of 8 kids has time to make things happen for her kids, for her family, I mean, I think that speaks of volumes. Oh my gosh. So yeah. So do you have any, what are the ways that you manage your time and energy so that you have enough of you to go around, not only just to your family, but to your community like that? Because Gigi's Playhouse, it's so funny because I knew about Gigi's Playhouse. And it was a while that I knew you before I realized, like, you helped spearhead that. You spearheaded that for your family. So how do you do all that?
Well, I usually tell people that I'm a vampire.
Yeah.
Which, of course, is not true. But, sleeping some days is a little bit optional, which isn't good in the long run. But, I think part of the success is I bring the family along with me. They help me build these things. They're a part of it. So, for instance, when we were working on Birchwood Montessori School and we were painting and cleaning and things, the kids would come with. And even our oldest son, Gabe, he brought his girlfriend along to help paint. So, it takes a village, and my kids are my village too. And they feel, satisfaction and pride and helping and digging in and getting involved too. So that's part of it. And then my husband is amazing. Yes,
he is.
He's just the voice of reason. He's definitely, if I'm a kite, he is the string holding me to earth. Otherwise, I'd be off in outer space or something. I'm always like, Matt, let's just sell everything. We need to move and start an orphanage for children with Down syndrome somewhere. Let's just sell everything. And he's like, so we're not going to do that. Okay. Probably smart. We probably need to be a little responsible. So thank goodness I have him to keep me back to earth, right?
But yet you have that magic together that you're able to raise 8 kids. So I think that's an amazing balance. He's all in, but yet knows where to say, oh, hold up.
Yeah,
Let's just slow down a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely the reality check in the relationship, but he's not afraid to stretch himself too. I mean, most rational people would say, no, I'm not adopting 5 children, or I'm not. So we adopted Kat 3 days before she turned 14. She'll have been home 3 years now in October. So, and most people would say, no, we're not going to adopt a 14-year-old. But when I said this, I can tell she's our daughter. We're meant to go get her. He's like, "Poof, you're sure?" And I'm like, "I'm sure." And
Yep.
he's all in.
And at what point did you know? Because I remember Kat's story, and like the timing was just that's universal. Like it had to happen. But like what made you decide that, yep, we're just doing this. We're going for this. We're growing our family again.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a long story. Is that okay?
That's totally okay with me if it's okay with you.
Okay, so I'm a farm girl. My dad and my mom still have a farm out in rural Iowa. And so we had taken all of the kids out to the farm and we just had the best day. Like we'd had so much fun. We played in the creek, we climbed up in the hay mound, and we were dirty and just being farm kids, right? Pretending like we're farm kids. Um, and then night came and we were letting off Chinese lanterns in the sky and making wishes. And for whatever reason, and this has never happened before, and it hasn't happened since we've let off more Chinese lanterns, but this one just did not catch lift. It just wouldn't go up in the sky. It kind of hovered at about 12 feet in the air. So I couldn't grab it back down, and it just stayed there. It was bizarre. And it started drifting up towards my dad's hog confinement building, which is, I don't know, a couple hundred yards, a football field away, maybe two, from the farmhouse. And I thought, oh my gosh, it's going to land on my dad's hog confinement roof and start the roof on fire. Uh-huh. And so I followed it up the hog lane and whatever. And sure enough, it landed on my dad's hog confinement roof. And I called back, "Gabe, bring up the gator and bring up Papa." And so Gabe comes up with my dad on the gator. And by the time they got up there, the Chinese lantern went out. It stopped burning and did not start the roof on fire. And
heavens.
I know. And my dad goes, "Hey, we gotta go find Karsten." I didn't think much about it because Karsten's kind of a homebody, so I thought he was just in the farmhouse watching TV or something. And it was a beautiful night. You could see the Milky Way. I mean, every star in the sky. There's nothing like a farm sky on a clear night. I mean, you can see everything. So I'm walking back and I'm looking up at the sky and the stars. And I'm like, this is so beautiful. This is such a perfect day. And, just having all of these like amazing, wow, life is good kind of thoughts. And I hear them calling for Karsten down by the farmhouse. And I thought, that's odd that they haven't found him yet. So I said, "Karsten," and I hear just a splish splash. And there's a hog confinement building that my dad had torn down. And it left a pit underneath, like where the manure goes. So he hadn't filled in all of the pit. So there was an open pit that had filled in with rainwater over, however long. So I ran up to the edge of the pit and shined my cell phone flashlight in there. And the water was up to here on Karsten. He barely had his nose, and it's pitch black. So somehow he found his feet at the bottom and kept his nose above. He couldn't have been in there too long, but it doesn't take too long, right? That's how these things, because he had been at the farmhouse when I followed the Chinese lantern up. So I turn around. I first tell him, "Karsten, you're doing an awesome job. I'm going to get you out." And then I turn around and I scream for my dad and Matt to call, my husband Matt, to call 911 because Karsten was in the pit. And then I get down and I start pulling Karsten out of the pit. And as soon as the water comes past his mouth, he goes, "Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Mama." And Dad comes up and helps me get him all the way out. And I just collapsed over top of Karsten, crying. And I remember looking back up at the sky and saying, "Thank you, God. Thank you. I don't know why you let me keep him, but thank you." whatever I'm supposed to do, I know I owe you one. I will not hesitate. When I can be someone's hope, I will give them hope. You just make it clear. I promise you. Thank you. Thank you. Like, just over and over again. I remember looking up at the sky, and Karsten keeps going, it's okay, Mama, it's okay. And I'm like, it's okay, but so, and I mean, I knew I'd been given a favor, so I thought, oh man, I'm going to have to give someone a kidney or something. That's what I'm supposed to do. That's what I'm supposed to do. So then 2 days later, I'm on Facebook, and an adoptive mom who I really hadn't interacted with before, her daughter got on her Facebook and posted a message that said, my friend is about ready to age out. She needs a family to step forward. They can't hesitate. She's losing hope. And basically, this young girl used all the same words that I had used in my promise. Like, I won't hesitate when I can be someone's hope. And there it was, like, back at me. And then I see Kat's face, and there's like a grainy picture of her that she must have brought back when she was adopted from the orphanage in China. And I thought, well, okay, that this is our daughter. So I call, and they have to track down her file, and it was 6 weeks. We had 6 weeks to get everything done and to China to get her. And normally this process takes about 9 months. And that's fast. 9 months is fast. 13 months is probably more average. So, but I knew we had to get to Kat. So I called every senator we had, our House of Representative. I even called the White House. And I'm like, we cannot let timing, we can't do this to her. So there was not a moment to spare. We got her the last day possible to get finalized. And part of the problem was when we were getting her, there was a Chinese New Year the week before. It's like not the Chinese New Year, their national day. It's kind of like our 4th of July, only they're out for the whole week. So we had to have everything to them and done. And then we had to, it was nail biting. And there for a while, I wasn't sure it was going to happen, but it happened, and we made it to her just in time. And she's 16, almost 17 now. And she's amazing. She's so smart. She's so determined. Her inside is more beautiful than her outside, and her outside is gorgeous. She's going to do amazing. She's an amazing, amazing young woman, and I can't believe I'm lucky enough to be her mom. So she's awesome.
What an amazing journey to get you together, right? That was definitely all meant to be. And that's the thing. I watch you on Facebook. And like one of my favorite things is your Christmas traditions, the star, putting the star up, like 8 times, right?
Yeah, everyone gets to do it.
Yes. And I mean, just things like that you guys incorporate that are they're intentional, but they're very organic. You do what comes from your heart. And okay, so back to you and Matt. So a marriage like that, you have some relationship secrets. Like, how do you guys make sure that you stay strong as a couple so that you can be, whole as a family?
So Matt and I have been married 19 years. I met him when I was 19. So I think back to that, like 19 years old. What did I know about relationships or talk about dumb luck. So,
my mom would say that's a good picker. You have a good picker.
Well, then I like the way your mom.
Yeah, so that's an important thing to have, I tell you.
I'll take credit for it. So yeah, I met him when I was 19. He's 7 years older than me, so he was 26 when we met. And we both just fell super hard for each other. And he's amazing. He's the yin to my yang, that's for sure. And I honestly think right now is probably the easiest part of our marriage. I mean, raising
Wow.
kids is hard, but you're so busy. There's no time to like dwell on each other's faults, right? Or what he said. There's just no time to be upset for any amount of time. You got some stuff to do and you got to work together as a team, and you have to communicate well because there's a lot to do in a day. So I think right now is actually probably the easiest years of our lives because there's so much to accomplish that it's easy to focus on each other's strengths right now. So we do try every year, maybe a little over a year, to do a trip together somewhere. We started off just like going to Omaha, or whatever, just to have a few days alone. So for those few days, you have to operate as just a couple, right? You don't have the distractions of the kids or basketball or track or any of those things. It's just the two of you. And as life has gotten crazier, our trips have gotten a little bit longer and we've gotten a little further away from home now. So now last November, we spent, I think it was a week in Italy. So it's a really good exercise to make sure you're still keeping connected on the couple level, because for a whole week you have to focus on just each other and get through, the streets of Rome and figure out your way back to the hotel. Little things like that. Because at the end of this, hopefully we'll raise 8 well-adjusted, happy children who will go off into the world and flourish and do their own things. And then Matt and I are going to have to sit there and look at each other and be like, now what? Go.
Exactly.
So we have to be sure we have the now what down so we don't have any shell shock. We'll still be shell shocked. Well,
it's always a transition, right? So now remind me, so your oldest, is Kat the oldest?
Kat's the oldest. She's almost 17.
Okay. And then your youngest is how old now?
5.
5. Okay.
He's in kindergarten. So we have like 13 years before everyone's in college or out of the house or, what have you. I don't know what's going to happen. That's the other thing Carson kind of taught me. Who knows what's going to happen? It would keep me up all night for the rest of my life if I tried to figure out what's going to happen. I have no idea. We'll find out. Maybe in 13 years we'll be empty nesters.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. I mean, I think that's something, it's taken me a long time. I used to try to micromanage everything and think about all the what ifs. And now finally, I'm like, you know what? What's next? Like, what's my next step? That's as far as I get sometimes. And I'm okay with that. Because mine now, my oldest is going to be 18 in December, and Marin just turned 16. And they're probably going to be even about the same time. So I just have to enjoy the now. And I think you're right. Like the things that I hear, I mean, all of your kids, they say such funny, brilliant things. And that's what I love about you too, is you're always so real about things. I remember when, through each of your adoptions, you weren't all sunshine and rainbows. You weren't just showing the happy pictures. You showed the really hard, like heartbreaking parts, and the fact that then we got to see all the happy smiles afterwards, but knowing that all those steps were part of the process, and you just like that strength and courage and authenticity that you use through it is so cool. And then, your funny posts just always crack me up because the kids say, it's not just funny things. They say the most brilliant things, don't they? Like you said.
They crack me up. And I'm like, where do you come up with these things? But they're hilarious. I can't even imagine how boring life is going to be when there's not, 10, 11 people to go around the table at night to talk about the best part of their day. But, and then, yeah, from the best part of the day, we usually derail quickly into strange land.
Now, have you blogged lately? I know you have to be so crazy busy that probably not, but I was always amazed when you did blog, because you had just these amazing things to share.
I know. Well, that was one thing I forgot to say in the beginning. So I have not blogged for a little while because I am getting my master's.
Oh my gosh, woman.
I'm almost done though. So I'll be done middle of December. So I think I have like 11 weeks left or something is the countdown. Countdown is on. But that has kind of zapped all of my writing desires, because now I'm writing papers about, preventing fall risks in hospitals.
Oh my gosh. So what's your master's in?
Health administration.
Okay.
It'll be great when it's done.
Yes, I just started my master's, and wow, that's a lot. So kudos to you. Very cool.
What are you getting yours in?
Mine is in mental health and wellness with an emphasis in prevention science. So I'm geeking out big time. I love it so much.
I like it. And I've learned as an adult learner, you actually read the books.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah. We are the curve breakers now. Like before we would complain about them in our classes, and now we are them.
Exactly. I'm always watching for that. Oh, I missed a point, right? Yeah.
I missed that point.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So cool. So let's see. So I know you probably have life to get back to, but what words of wisdom do you have? And maybe it's something from your kids. Maybe it's just something that you now know after going through. Because I guess the thing, of course, right, with my master's program is all about taking care of yourself, and a lot of that is mindset, and a lot of that is like that emotional and physical wellness. What words of wisdom do you have for folks that are going through hard stuff?
I think that it comes down to today, worry about today. That's all you can worry about. Don't worry about what you didn't do yesterday, because you didn't do it. So who cares? I mean, unless there's some time machine that I'm not aware of. It didn't happen, and that's that. You can learn from it and try and change it if you really think that, it's something you should have done differently. And that's cool, because we're all evolving like little caterpillars into butterflies. So I'll take it and try and do better tomorrow, and then I'll handle tomorrow when tomorrow gets here. I can't solve tomorrow's problems because I don't even know what they're going to be. Life has definitely taught me that. Nobody knows what tomorrow is going to bring, or if we're even going to have tomorrow. I mean, who knows? So have fun today. Do what your heart tells you to do today. And when tomorrow gets here, you got it. You got this. It's no problem. Like, you got this. And you'll tackle tomorrow like a champ. If there's something you could do better, tomorrow you'll do better. So I guess I don't know.
That's a lot, though. No, that's a lot. And you already shared so many words of wisdom just as we were talking, about what you've learned and how you do all the things you do. I'm so grateful to know you, because you inspire me, not just because you do it and you get through it, but like you just live this big life. Remind me of the name of your blog, because I love the name of your blog.
It is what is it? My Extraordinary Life, right?
Yeah, isn't it like not my ordinary? My ordinary not. Oh, I can't remember now, but it's brilliant.
Well, you can tell how long it's been since I've blogged then, right?
Understandable, my friend. Oh my gosh.
Oh, My Imperfect Extraordinary Life. That's it.
There you go. I love that, because it really is about like, where we're at and enjoying the moment. And it is extraordinary. Like whatever we're experiencing is extraordinary. So, and you are extraordinary, my friend. I love you so much. I'm glad that our paths crossed and we've stayed connected. So,
you're awesome.
oh
You're
my gosh.
inspiring people, and look at you. Look at you.
Oh,
I'm just trying to survive over here treading water, and you're like changing things.
oh my gosh. No, you have changed so many lives. Look at you go. Oh my gosh. You and Matt. So cool. Well, thank you everybody for watching. I did go ahead. I hope it's okay, Megan. I shared this on your personal page.
Sure.
And folks, share this out because I really think it's just good nuggets for life and things to think about. Mantras, right? Take care of today. We'll take care of tomorrow. Tomorrow is so wise. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Megan.
Thanks for
and
having
yes,
me.
love you.
Love
I'll talk to you soon.
Great night. Okay.
You too. Bye, everybody.